Hey folks, hope you're all doing well and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about Aerosmith, one of my all-time favorite bands, one of the first heavier rock bands compared to what they were playing on AM radio back in the 70s that I'd heard. And one of the bands that got me into rock music overall. So today, myself, Martin, and Grant, we decided we're going to pick our absolute 10 favorite tracks of Aerosmith, including just all their studio records. We're picking our 10 favorites from there and share them. And guys, throw your favorites in there as well in the comments. And here we go. So to help me in that endeavor, got Mr. Martin Popoff and Mr. Grant Arthur. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Looking forward to this.
Very fantastic. Cool. Nice to see you, Hack.
Good nice to have the team back together. Nice.
Yeah, it's been a while. Let me just say hello to some of the folks. We got Mitch Heyman is with us. Christian Haynes, welcome. Davey Creighton, how are you? Oh boy.
Kathy.
Baba Quisp. I don't know.
Bobo. It's Bobo.
Oh, is it Bo? I haven't got my glasses on and I'm nearsighted. So there you go. Keith C-Rock, welcome. Jason Budney, welcome. Bernie67. Stephen David. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. There's Kathy. Okay, saw that. Yeah, welcome. Donald Johnson. I think I got everybody. No. Lee Page, welcome. West Coast Dave.
Ken's here. Everybody that was just on my show are here. Oh, so I told them all to come over. So
nice. Papa Blue, welcome. All right, I think I got everybody. Two Wire Nuts, welcome. All right, so we picked our favorite 10 tracks. So I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I kind of think I may already know the answer to this. Were any of your favorites off of an Aerosmith record that came out after 2000?
I don't want to say that yet. Let me look. Not me. Nope.
Martin?
Myself, without giving it away, I will agree in a very general sense. Mine are all quite a bit older. And yeah, it's this idea that, we talk about losing confidence in a band, deciding that you're not particularly on board, the power ballads, the overproduction, and all of a sudden, even when they do something heavy or try to do something raw, sometimes even when they try to do something raw on a later album, it's because they're all produced differently, because they're looking at every song so belabored and said, oh, we're even going to produce this one raw. So crazy stuff like that would happen later on. So no, I've got one track on my, I don't want to give it away too much.
Don't give it away.
Don't give it away.
So
that could be even classified as newer at all.
So do you, Martin, I'm going to throw this out there real quick. So you're thinking like on those later records, do you think that they sound forced? Like we need to make this raw, and it's not like something that naturally happened. It feels forced. Do you feel that way?
A perfect way of putting it. Or just heavy. I mean, we just need to have some heavy ones on here to counter against all of Stephen's ballads and etc. So I'm just not particularly on board, and when I'm not on board, it's an avalanche in my head that just makes me reject all of it, kind of thing. I mean, I don't hate those records, but nothing's going to make my top 10.
I totally get what you're saying. Yep.
A while ago, I did a show with Pete, and we picked our favorite. It was Aerosmith, and we picked our favorite record from each decade. So the 70s was like really hard. 80s, not quite as hard. 90s, then it became an exercise and pick something that you can get through. Because when you get to the 90s and the 2000s and whatever, like, it's just...
Yeah. There's some stuff in the 90s, though, that I really like, though. I'm going out on a ledge, and everybody's going to disagree, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay. So I was talking to Martin earlier. I think probably the easiest and coolest way to go through this is if we just went 3, 3, 3... 3 times around and we save our best for last.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's go, Martin. You're next to me, and
Okay.
Grant, myself.
Well, I love Aerosmith. I actually have an Aerosmith book coming out very shortly called Aerosmith, the Columbia Years 72 to 82. So again, it's just about the early stuff. I told them, look, this is what I want to write about. I want to analyze it in depth. I'll make a whole book of the early stuff. And that's what I did. So I've been on board with this band since it might actually be the debut, but if it's not the debut, I certainly remember Get Your Wings as a new release. So right since the beginning, and loved them through the 70s. And yeah, they were just one of my favorite bands. So to start with, I am going with my one fairly newish track, and it's from Permanent Vacation. I really like this album. I found nothing exciting enough from Done With Mirrors that I wanted to put in an actual top 10. But this album, I put Hearts Done Time, the debut, the first song on the album, super heavy, massive production, great riff. That big hanging chord part, for the chorus. It's got some ear candy in there, but it just sounds like a massive boulder rolling down a hill. It's a great, great song. There's a bunch of stuff on here. I know a lot of people have a lot of fondness for the song Permanent Vacation, as do I. And I think Dude Looks Like a Lady, despite the dumb title, and less dumb premise. I mean, the title's the worst part of it, but I think it's a beautifully well put together, well written song as well. But Hearts Done Time is, as I look at this, yeah, it's definitely the heaviest song on the album. So that's my number 10. My number 9, I'm going to Toys in the Attic, which incredibly is 9 times platinum, this album. Blows my mind. But I'm going to go with Sweet Emotion. I think it's just got so many cool elements to it. It's got the funkiness. It's got Steven's rapid fire lyrics. It's got the cool intro, the bass part. The ethereal chorus. It's just a very, very likable song from this album. So that's my number 9. And my number 8, hang on, 9, 8. 8, I'm going with Seasons of Wither from this album. Everybody loves Seasons of Wither. I see that people pick that song all the time. This album, I'm a little more down on it these days. This album, I do like pretty much everything on it a fair bit, but I'm not loving too many songs on here. I really like Woman of the World and Spaced, but Seasons of Wither is just a gorgeous ballad, beautifully, beautifully produced, by Jack Douglas. You got great, great acoustic guitars on there. It's just a very, very classy, dark, passion felt sort of a ballad. So there you go, 10, 9, and 8.
Great.
All right.
What do we got, Grant?
Bobo was talking about Wings, Toys, Rocks, quad LPs are worth hearing. I don't think I've ever heard the quad versions of those, but I don't have a quad stylus, so there's a problem. All right, kids. Anyway, it's nice to know. All right. Now, the way I went through this, I updated, I reevaluated, I updated, I reevaluated. Because, of course, we know Aerosmith has a lot of great tracks, a lot of great albums. But when I'm coming down to do my top 10, is it really possible? I don't know. Not really, but we're going to do it anyway. All right, number 10. This list is just for today. I'm going to go with number 10, Rats in the Cellar off of Rocks, 1976. Underrated Rocks deep cut, I would say. It's kind of like the thematic answer to Toys in the Attic. It confronts drug addiction dealers. It's very dark, but the riffs are fantastic. The vocals are crazy from Steven Tyler, and there's a certain energy about it that I like. It's raw, it's honest. It's a great track. So that's my number 10. My number 9, I'm going to go with Get Your Wings off of 1974. Same old song and dance. Now, this is one of those radio staples. They still play that here in Central Ohio, but it's a classic early track. It's almost like this is what Aerosmith should sound like. It's bluesy, it's swinging, it's got swag, but, it's just funny because the lyrical content, I mean, it talks about the grind of the music business, groupies, talks about fame. It sounds like they're worn out here. But this is one of those songs I think has fantastic riffs. The thing about Aerosmith is that, and I've said this on different shows, they had some of the best guitar sounds of any band.
I was going to talk about that.
Now, was that Jack Douglas? I think Jack Douglas really has a lot to do with guitar sounds. When he was doing Cheap Trick, really knew how to capture Rick Nielsen. He knew how to capture Tom Peterson. But a lot of the stuff that he produces, the guitars sound great.
Let me interject something there, Grant. I remember seeing recently an amazing treatise about all the microphone placement and all that stuff by Jay Messina, the engineer. So the engineer, he sounds like he's an absolute genius of getting sound. So I think it's in conjunction with Jack. But yeah, this, if you read this thing about how they got the guitar sounds, Jay Messina sounds like a friggin', a master of sound. So yeah, he was definitely a big part of it.
Yeah, Jay and Jack together, it's a combo effect. But we always say Jack since he was the producer. But yeah, Jay Messina, fantastic engineer. So anyway, same old song and dance. I think guitars sound great. Catchy chorus. It's raw, energetic. What's not to like? My number 8. Okay, here we go. This is where everybody's going to go and probably, get their pitchforks and get flames and fire and go towards my house. I'm going to go with Taste of India off of 9 Lives. I know a lot of people don't like this record, but I really like 9 Lives as an album. This is I'm just looking at this in a later period. There's a lot of creativity. It's hard. The riffs are good. It's very Indian, of course. You've got Indian scales. You got rhythms, and it clocks in at 6 minutes. It's groovy. It's psychedelic. They're actually doing a track that is psychedelic in 1997. It shows that even in 1997, they're willing to experiment. This is what I like about this record. Maybe not everything works, but Taste of India, I think, works. It's psychedelic. I love the way it's produced. I don't have a problem with it. And this isn't the only track that I'm picking off of 9 Lives. So,
wow, nice, cool. Alrighty. Well, I gotta give you a little Aerosmith story. So
go ahead.
Probably 10 in my uncle's gold Trans Am. And he pops in an 8-track, and this amazing music starts coming out of his stereo. And I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, that's Aerosmith. And he's playing Toys in the Attic. And that was, the first record I ever bought was Kiss Destroyer. I think Toys in the Attic was the second record I ever bought. And have been in love with that record ever since. And that was sort of like my baptism of fire into like the heavier guitar, the heavier rock stuff. Nazareth came after that, then Ted Nugent, and it goes on and on. A Rush, it goes on. But yeah, Aerosmith was like one of the first heavy bands, Like, and when I say heavy, I don't mean like at the time, all I heard was AM radio, and then you go from that, and like, oh, a guitar, that's really cool. And that's lasted up until my ripe old age of almost 60. So there you go. So it's been a lifetime thing. Okay, number 10. So yeah, like you say, Grant, my thing can change from one day to the next. So it's a very fragile grouping of 10 here because it could go. So starting with my number 10, and I've got some visual aids. So I'm gonna go off of this record, "Rockin' a Hard Place," 1982. Steven is pretty strung out. No Joe, no Brad. What can Aerosmith do? Well, what they can do is they could put out a song called "Lightning Strikes." Love that track. Love the beginning with the keyboards, and it kind of builds, and then the groove comes in nice and slow, and it's a great rocker. And the video is an early video for Aerosmith. The album, again, I mean, outside of that track is pretty weak for me, but that song is a standout for me, and I've always liked "Lightning Strikes." All right. My number 9. This is my only track off of this record. It is the title track, Draw the Line. That main riff, dun 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 dun, or it ascends, it descends. It's got this like really kind of quirky, off kilter kind of feel to it. But then when the verse comes in, it's like straight up. So you've got that sort of juxtaposition of that kind of quirky thing, and then the groove comes in on the verse, which it's one of the genius things. Aerosmith does a lot of genius stuff, and that's one of the things they do. They're shifting of grooves from one part to the other, their arrangements, their bridges, but I'll get into all of that with some other tracks later on. But that shift is for me, that's the big hook of the song. So off of that record, Draw the Line. Okay. Next, off of what is most people's favorite Aerosmith record, if they're an older fan, off of Rocks. This was a really heavy song for Aerosmith. There's a couple of times where they got pretty heavy. This was one of them. Talking about nobody's fool, or sorry, nobody's fault. It's just it's really driving, heavy verse, and then you've got that again, the genius of Aerosmith. You got that grindy verse, but then it goes into that sort of mellow, dreamy, and he's the bridge part where he's singing, "I'm sorry." Like again, you've got that light and shade, those dynamics between the heavy and the more melodic, lighter stuff, and it makes it, gives you that dynamic and makes the song. It makes the song, how would I say it, entertaining all the way through, where you don't get ear fatigue because you're always hearing the same riff over. They know exactly how many times to play something before they switch into something else. They always had that ability, and their B parts are just as interesting as their A parts, and their bridges are always fantastic. And yeah, so nobody's fault, which again, man, that was pretty heavy for 1976, I gotta say.
Sure.
Alrighty. What do we got for 7, 6, and 5, Martin?
Okay, so for number 7, I'm just going to read this little bit here because I had to do a list for Goldmine, the top 20 heaviest Aerosmith songs. I think it was called the most headbanging Aerosmith songs or something. So this is one I included on that list, and it was Chiquita from Night in the Ruts. And I said, despite loving the horn arrangement and used on the break music of this strident rocker, I'm well aware that it takes away from the song's heaviness, but it gives it a bit of a New York Dolls vibe, which is another type of heaviness. In any event, the rest of the song should be somewhat pleasing to any self-respecting metalhead, given the quirky complexity of the riff that floats above Tom Hamilton's Teenage Eighth Notes bass foundation. So again, say exactly what you said, Hack. I mean, Aerosmith are just genius songwriters. They can just do great stuff, even if the band is a little compromised, even if everybody's on drugs. When it comes to making a record, they work super, super hard. Somehow they pull a great record out of the fire of all the time. And people love this album. I think it's great as well. We know, they're on a decline at this point. The 78 live album wasn't particularly well received. So we're up to 79 here. Not a great album cover. The logo's missing. But Chiquita is just a weird, complicated, cool, heavy song with all of those great, downtown New York, Boston, New York Dolls kind of vibes to it. So that's that one. And number 6, I am going with Walk This Way from Toys in the Attic. I think this is just a brilliant piece of work. I've said this before, this idea of, I would love to have been a band walking in, to the boardroom with everybody sitting around and they're waiting to hear your new music. And there's a handful of hallowed songs that I think it would have been amazing to be that band walking in, presenting this to the people and just blowing them away. And that would be something like Bohemian Rhapsody, Knack, My Sharona, Cowboys from Hell. And Walk This Way is absolutely one of those. Imagine hitting play on that tape in a boardroom and having that beat and that riff come out of that. and then going into that just genius verse. It's just such an irresistibly catchy song. If we're going to talk about, the magic of, the platonic ideal of Beatlesque songwriting or whatever, just writing the perfect song, like Walk This Way is just a work of genius. And of course, the title we know comes from, they were blowing off some steam. They went, they walked down the street to see Young Frankenstein. And in that, where he says walk this way, and he walks, I guess with a limb. I can't remember exactly how it works, but this is, I think Jack Douglas said that, and everybody was cracking up about this joke in Young Frankenstein. All right, and my number 5 is super heavy song from this album, Rocks. This is my favorite Aerosmith album, but I'm going with Combination. I just love that riff. I love how that riff kicks off. It's got just this glorious guitar sound and production. And then all of a sudden, the string is cold, and all of a sudden it comes in at a strange place, and then the riff changes immediately. It's just, again, just really, really sophisticated songwriting.
Yeah.
And just a super heavy song, dark, really nice chord changes throughout. So that is my 7, 6, and 5. Oh, I know. I wanted to mention, you mentioned Lightning Strikes. I always got to mention this when I hear it. Our band played that song. That was
there.
So that was the only one that we had in the set. And I think that's the only one they did a video for, I believe. And
off of that record.
Some modern band, I don't know who it is, but some modern metal band, I think, did a cover of that song, right? Maybe you guys in the comments can
yeah, you know what? I think you're right.
Somebody did a cover of Lightning Strike.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm still amazed that Martin mentioned my Sharona, so I'm just sitting here going, wow, look at Martin. And I want to go on record saying that the first Joe Perry Project album is my favorite Aerosmith album. I just want to put that out there, and I've said that before.
Yeah,
I think that album is guitar-wise. Heck, you have to chime in on Joe Perry Project, the first album.
Let the music do the talk.
The guitars on there.
Mist is rising.
Oh my God, Martin. I can listen to that first Joe Perry Project album over and over again. And I haven't talked about it a long time, but I freaking love that record.
Yeah.
The guitar, the band, the vocals, great record. God, that's a great record.
And then pretty big drop to the next one, and then a huge drop to the third one.
Yeah, what is up with that, though? I understand why. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Joe's a great songwriter. You'd think they could maintain that, but whatever. All right, that was a tangent, kids, and I can't help myself. All right, what am I, number 6?
7.
7, 6.
Oh, 7.
6 and 5, yep.
Okay. Number 7, I'm going to go with Rock's 1976. We're going to go with Last Child. This got up to number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100, written by Tyler and Brad Whitford. And my God, Whitford's riff on here is fantastic. And the way the guitars interplay with each other, the dual guitar interplay, if I may say that, and Whitford's solo on here, this is such a great guitar band. And the guitars it just takes you to another level. It's kind of funky. It's rhythmic. Fantastic record. This, as far as a guitar showcase, I love it. Next track I'm going to go with, number 6 is Back in the Saddle off of Rocks. Now, I've been quoted as saying that Toys in the Attic is my favorite, but today I seem to be on a Rocks kick, and I don't know. It's just the way it plays out. And I'm going to have to go with this, of course, Back in the Saddle. This has Joe Perry playing a Fender 6-string bass on it. And evidently, what I read, he was evidently lying on his back playing it. But what a great track. They still play this on the radio. This is one of those tracks I will never turn on. It just seems reckless. You got the cowbell going. It's a lot of swagger. God, great song. And how many tracks would have 6-string bass on them in 1976? And a lot of people don't know that's a Fender 6-string bass. I dig it. I like it. All right, here we go. Now, this is where people are going to really make fun of me. But the track off of 9 Lives, 1997. Now, this was co-written with Desmond Child, and now everybody is cringing. Heartbreak, betrayal. Oh, there's so much soul in here, and Steven Tyler's vocal. I'm telling you, there is so much feeling in this track that it comes right across the speakers. I'm going to have to go with Hole in My Soul. I love it. It's anthemic. It's emotional. The production is fine. The chorus is just soar. It's just, they never play that track here anymore on the radio. I never hear it, but I'm sorry. Call me a sap or whatever you want, but I love Hole in My Soul. I really like the Nine Lives album, so I'm going to leave it at that.
All right. That was 765?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So my number 7 has already been mentioned. So we have a repeat here, and it comes off of this record, Night in the Ruts, which I really dig. And Chiquita. Always love that song. I love the way it starts. It's sort of just the bashing chords, nonsensical bashing chords and sound effects and all this like choking and stuff. And then all of a sudden, this riff just evolves. And it just kind of comes up, and it's like, and then you got the horn part in the background. And I'm not a big fan of horns, okay? On most songs, I don't like when they're using trombones or trumpets or whatever, but those horns on that song actually really, really work. And it sounds great. And yeah, again, man, it's like, you know, what a bizarre intro for a song, you know, it's nonsensical. But again, like when that shift, when they go into the big chords, it just sounds amazing. And then they go back to the intro again, in the middle of it again. Like it's just really, really cool.
Yeah.
I just like that song. It's very, very different. And for my number 6, and this is off of Rocks, Sick as a Dog. That dreamy intro is really cool. Again, you got that sort of the dynamic. You got the dreamy intro, and then when the verse kicks in, that groove down, it's just such a cool groove. And then when they do the breakdown towards the end of the song, where it's just the one guitar and the drums really light, and then the instruments come back in again. I thought that's just genius. I mean, that shit just blows me away, man. It's such a simple idea, but it works so well. And it takes the song and just gives it another step up, brings it a step up, man. It just love that track. Sick as a Dog. All right. So that's my 7, my 6. And what's my 5? I don't recall. Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Off at Nine Lives.
This is some heavy metal. This is heavy metal. This is Godzilla riffs.
Oh.
Off of it, Toys in the Attic. Round and round. Oh my God, man. Dun, dun, dun. Like you could actually see buildings toppling over when that riff comes in, man. It's like, that has got to be the heaviest Aerosmith riff, period. It's just monstrous and it's huge. But again, you got that big heavy riff, but then you've got that instrumental part that comes up where he's playing that guitar melody line. And it's just, you know, that transition from the one to the other. And it's perfect. It's so well done and it's perfect. And it's like those parts there, you cannot imagine any other two parts going together. Like you can't imagine a secondary part different than what it is. You know what I mean? It's just the songwriting, the creativity is just unfreaking believable. And that riff and and again, a killer solo. Got to talk about the solo. It's just, the solo is great. The riff is great. It's heavy as hell. Steven is belting it. Love it. Round and round. Absolutely killer track, man. Killer track. Heavy metal, Aerosmith. Who knew? So there you go. It's my 7, 6, and 5.
Nice. Okay, 4, 3, and 2. Okay, so my number 4 is from this album, Rock in a Hard Place. It's Joni's Butterfly. I
Okay.
love this song. This is my favorite mellow Aerosmith song. I think it's just a really innovative sort of way to do a ballad. It's up tempo, it's psychedelic and stonesy. And it even reminds me a little bit of New York Dolls as well. But I think it's got just that great, the chorus is just so Rolling Stones like. It's got those beautifully recorded acoustic guitars, the tabla sounds in there. I really don't like that we've got a song on this album called Prelude to Joni, which is ridiculous because it's the prelude to Joni's Butterfly. And it's just a bunch of like synthesizer Alan Parsons noises. It's ridiculous. They shouldn't have named it. They should have just left the title off and put it at the beginning and called it a day. But
Joni's caterpillar before it became a butterfly.
Exactly, yeah. But I think this is a solid album. Everybody loves this album. I mean, I don't know anybody who thinks this is a terribly subpar Aerosmith album. It's heavy, it's well recorded. I know we're missing the two guitarists, but it's everything up and after this they change labels and they kind of change sort of their philosophy, but this feels like it's in the same wheelhouse as A Night in the Ruts sort of album. And it's amazing again that happens with Steven being in as rough shape as he is. But yeah, number 3, I go to Rocks with Lick and a Promise, probably the most high octane riff that they ever did. And again, what I love about this song is I remember us as kids just thinking Aerosmith is running rings around the Rolling Stones. This is our Rolling Stones. They're just like way more recorded better, playing better, writing better. It's just, but they're taking some magic from the Rolling Stones and just drastically improving on it for young people. That's what it felt like for us. And this song is just everything about it just feels like just a heroic, Viking version of a Rolling Stones song. I think it's one of my favorite riffs that they ever came up with, and it's just very incredibly high octane. And number 2, I'm sticking with this album, and I'm going with Hack's choice of Sick as a Dog. I think it's just one of the most brilliantly written songs of all time. I love that acoustic guitar in there in that intro, that halftime intro, and then the song kicks in. And what do we have again? The very best Rolling Stones songs ever written, not by the Rolling Stones kind of thing. So they do a lot of that. And this, you hear that harmony vocal and you think of Mick and Keith around one mic, and Steven and Joe around one mic. And you're right, that breakdown is so cool. And then there's, the part where it's after the breakdown where you hear the ride cymbal tinging away and more sounds all over the place, just beautifully produced. And it's my favorite song from this album, even though it's not particularly the heaviest. I just think it's got so much soul to it, kind of thing. So there you go, 4, 3, and 2.
Nice. What do you got, Grant? 4, 3.
All right, 4, 3, and 2. Here we go, kids. Well, Hack's already mentioned this song, but it doesn't rate quite as high for me. Well, actually, it rates higher.
Yeah.
What the hell am I talking about?
Exactly.
We're not going from one back. My number 4, I'm going to go with Draw the Line from Draw the Line, 1977. What a fantastic song. I know the band was a mess. I know they're doing drugs out there, yin yangs. But Steven Tyler sounds fantastic on this track. He is full throttle, raw. This track is no holds barred. And then I've mentioned riffs before. The guitars sound great. The riffage is fantastic. I don't know. Maybe the band needed drugs to maintain this. But it's full excess rock and roll, rebellion, high octane. You call it whatever you want. I think Draw the Line's fantastic.
Yep.
My number 3, I'm going to go with Toys in the Attic, 1975. No More, No More. Now, I could have picked one of the other tracks, Walk This Way, or take your pick. But this is one of those tracks that used to get just as much attention as Walk This Way. But now I never hear it today on modern FM radio. But this track is every bit as strong, in my personal opinion, and I never get tired of it. I'm going to say it's kind of groovy. It's mid-tempo.
And very Stones again, right?
And very Stones again. Well put. But the guitar work. See, with Aerosmith, I'm all about guitar work, all about riffs, and it's got a groove as it should. All Aerosmith should have a groove and swagger. This song deserves to get back in the rotation. I don't know. I like it. So
anyway. Shouldn't the Stones do an album of Aerosmith covers?
I think they should. Or maybe they should have done it back in the day. I don't know. All right, cool. Number 2, we're sticking with Toys in the Attic, and we're going to talk about a track that REM did a cover version to that I really like as well. I'm going to go with the title track, Toys in the Attic. I think this, what's not to like about it? It's youthful, it's chaotic, fast-paced riffs, kids. That's what it's about. And Steven Tyler's high-pitched vocals on here, very tight, very aggressive sounding. But what is there not to love about it? You know? And I like this whole era because it's kind of unpolished and they still feel very hungry during this period. And it's energetic and fun. What more can I say? Toys in the Attic, the title track, that's my number 2. So there you go.
All righty. So we're going to have some more repetition.
Oh, no.
Yes. Also, my number 4 is also off this record. And as Grant just mentioned, No More.
Yes.
That intro with the guitar, the acoustic and electric together. Dun, 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 dun. And that, I'm always a sucker for those types of lines that have like the maintain the chord, but the bass drops, you know, like a Dear Prudence type of idea from the Beatles. Whenever that shows up on a track, it's like that just sucks me right in. I just love the sound of that progression and the build in the middle of that song. The dynamics of this track is amazing. That outro solo that just goes on forever, and it's got everything, man. It's mellow. It's got it's heavy at parts. It's got that whole swagger that they do, and when the electric guitars come in, it's just an incredible song. What can I say?
It's incredible.
It's incredible. All right, now, also, I could do this whole record, dude.
You are kind of
pretty much. Okay, this one did not get mentioned. This was always been one of my favorite tracks because the riff on this is absolutely killer. And I'm talking about Adam's Apple. What an amazing song, man. This record, we were talking about guitar tones earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This album, there's 2 records for me that sort of are the perfect, let's call it 70s blues rock tone. Okay. Which my first one is an 80s record, but talking about Back in Black.
Yeah.
But let's call that a 70s blues rock tone.
Okay.
Toys in the Attic is the other. Toys in the Attic, those guitars sound the best for me that any other freaking record, period. From that period and onwards. That 70s capturing that whole Marsh, because all these guys were doing, they were just playing through Marshalls.
I don't know about that, Hack. I heard a Joe Perry thing, and he was playing through old Fender Twins on a lot of that stuff. Just cranking it.
But whatever the blend of amps was, the way it was recorded, the tones are amazing. Sometimes when I'm listening to this record, you know, I mean, I'm a massive Kiss fan as well, but sometimes I'm thinking to myself, imagine how much better Rock and Roll Over would be if it had those guitar tones. Because Eddie Kramer those records with Eddie Kramer, those 70s records, which were coming out at the same time as these Aerosmith records, never sounded anywhere as good. You know, I would have loved to hear what that would have sounded like, but I digress.
You know what? I'm going to have to jump in. You know what? You mentioned Back in Black. You know what is so fantastic about it? I don't know if it is that we might have talked about this before, Hack.
Maybe.
The Marshall sound. It's very identifiable because if you listen to Angus Young, I would say that he possibly might have the best Marshall sound out there because he doesn't take it too far. It's just overdriven enough.
That's
and it's
why
got that
blues rock. That's why that's sort of my definition, like where it's just overdriven slightly. But
it's got a very woody sound to it. That was the beauty of it. And I don't know if he's using probably he's using an old plexi, I would imagine. I don't know for sure. But he's always had a good sound and he's never cranking it all the way. It's just enough that gives you just a little bit of overdriven sound. And that's the other thing with Aerosmith. It's the same thing. They're just overdriving it enough that it's not too annoying and it doesn't come off as metal. It just comes off as, well, okay, overdriven blues sound. Okay, we can say that. Right.
Yeah, it's warm. It's that warm tone.
But it's not fatiguing on the ears.
No.
No.
It's like it's lush.
Lush.
Yeah. And those are the sounds that I'm always kind of going for, right?
And I will say this, you listen to these 70s albums and AC/DC, in the 70s, they seem to really capture that sound a lot better. We've lost that sound. I don't know if anybody can even duplicate that sound anymore. I can't think of anything.
The closest band that I've heard come to that is The Darkness.
Darkness, I would agree.
On certain tracks, they approach that.
Yeah,
that's a whole other show.
I know we're on a tangent, but
we're on a tangent.
But you know what I'm talking about? There's something magical about that whole time period. Yeah. Production, guitar sounds.
Yeah. All right. So where was I? Number 3. So yeah, Adam's Apple. It's like there's a part where Steven. I love when Steven goes into the falsetto on that final chorus on this song where he goes really, really high. It just sends chills, man. And again, it's, as I mentioned, it's got the perfect tone. The whole album actually has the perfect blues rock tone. All right, number 2 is off of this record, and it was also already mentioned. And this was like the closest I think Aerosmith ever got to prog. You got that ominous beginning, and then it kind of builds in. Then the heavy guitars come in, talking about Seasons of Wither. This has got to be the closest they've ever come. I like all the parts on here, the way they all kind of go together. Again, there's the quiet, there's the heavy, there's the big chords, there's the acoustic guitars, there's all those different emotions that go through the song, the dynamics. Again, another freaking masterpiece for these guys. And the closest they ever come to, I think, prog, or in sort of an epic type of track. But Seasons of Wither always blew me away from the first time I heard it. So there you go. So that's my 4, 3, and 2. So now we're down to our number 1s. This will be interesting.
All right. Well, we're going to this record, Draw the Line. By the way, I mean, this record does have something where they were trying to be epic, and that's Kings and Queens, but that's not the song I'm picking. I am picking the title track here, and I'm just going to read this again from that thing I had to do for Goldmine. Different kind of heaviness here, namely the heaviness of energy. First off, in print, in the back of a list book or two, I've been known to call this the greatest song ever written. And I actually did a History in 5 Songs with Martin Popoff podcast episode cheekily about the 5 greatest songs ever written. And I included this in there along with Adrian Belew, 1967, Status Quo, Too Far Gone, believe it or not, Bohemian Rhapsody as well. And Grateful Dead, France. I think those were the 5 that I called the 5 greatest songs of all time ever written. Anyways, so this is in there. The riff is complicated and squarely heavy metal for 1977. It's this band's Celebration Day, a top 5 Zepp song for me. For me, this is like assembled architecture-wise, like Celebration Day a little bit, that riff. As is the pre-chorus and the punctuating line, basically the title, which serves as the chorus. But what happens at the 2:38 mark with Steven shredding his vocal cords and the band just Moulton behind him, goading him on. I think that's as heavy as Aerosmith ever got, although not as heavy metal as Aerosmith ever got. So yeah, I just love this song. It's far and away it just dominates this record, I think. I had as an honorable mention Bright Light Fright. But yeah, this song is just, again, it just sounds like the Rolling Stones on cocaine. It sounds like the New York Dolls. It's just so heavy. It's the band running on fumes. This album, it's the white knuckle album for them. The production's not as great. It's all kind of mid-rangey and exciting. But that riff is just incredible with the ascending and that little tail, that it's ridiculous, right? It's just such incredible genius, this song, and just the parts, the way they rise and rise. It's just absolute desperado, gangland, band as a gang, Rolling Stones, New York Dolls, Aerosmith magic kind of thing. So there you go. My number one, Draw the Line. And like I say, I'll go so far as to say it's the greatest song ever written by anybody.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, kids. Well, people keep asking when Kings and Queens is going to make an appearance. And, well, it's making an appearance now because that is my number one Aerosmith song. And it's always been. What? It's a perfect song.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Come on. The bridge is perfect.
Yeah.
It's the bass is heavy. The riff is fantastic. They are being creative. How you could put this on 9 Lives, kids? And it's unconventional in the way that it's structured. And this chorus is untraditional. It's not a traditional chorus. Steven Tyler's vocals sound very eerie. And
you
it's
could put it on Rainbow, Long Live Rock and Roll too, right?
Why not? Let's play them together.
Right? Yeah.
And turn on a lava lamp and whatever, take some Coke. But it's very great. The production, the mandolin on it's very nice. It's very cinematic. It just seems like during this drug-fueled period, it just seems like, how could this track even appear? It's like a gift from God. I'm just saying. It's very ambitious. I love it. It's always been my favorite. And FM rock radio could give a crap about it now. It's totally forgotten.
Yeah.
Back when it came out, it got played all the time. Now, here in Central Ohio, they pretty much play Jamie's Got a Gun and shit like that. But Kings and Queens, it doesn't get any love. So,
yeah.
I love it. Fantastic.
Right. So for my number one, and I promise this will be the last one off of.
Is there anything left?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Sweet Emotion's never been talked about.
4 of my 10 have come off of this record. Okay, I know this is going to be you talking about people making fun of you, Grant. I think I'm going to get butchered for this, but I don't give a shit. This is my favorite goddamn song of theirs. It's cinematic, it's majestic, it's epic, it's gothic. It's just the best Aerosmith song.
Go on.
You See Me Cry.
Wow.
Ow,
man.
God, I love that song.
Well, it's no Kings and Queens, but okay.
I love that song. I mean, as a kid when I heard that, okay, geez, I really like these heavy guitars and everything else, and that's kind of cool. And then this song comes on, and then this song starts to pull me and give me, like, it goes straight to, what side is their heart on, left or right? Anyways, it goes in
It's
there.
on the left.
It's on the left?
On your left, yes.
My left, okay. And I felt it, like, right in my heart. It's like, this song goes right to my soul. I don't know what it is. The piano, the vocal, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And when he goes into the falsetto, I lose my freaking shit, man. I get chills up my spine when he sings that. This is the best Steven Tyler vocal ever.
Wow.
Song. It's on this song. And it's just so big and grandiose and whatever. And you know what? I was just thinking about this today. And you just mentioned it. What other album would you find a song like this on? This would be this would be perfect on a Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare, because it's got all the same telltale signs. It's got all the big production, all the orchestration, and then wait a minute, Jack Douglas, Bob Ezrin?
They're connected. Yep.
There you go. The mentor and the student. The
Yeah.
student became the teacher on this track. Absolutely gorgeous track. I know it's kind of weird because there's a lot of great songs, but this song always hit me in such a way that, I don't know, goes right to my heart. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Mr. Frickin' Frackin', I don't know where he's been hiding, but he says Hack ain't lying. It's a great tune. There you go.
I got some support out there.
Yeah, you got some support.
All right. So, what do we got going on, Martin? Anything you want to mention, books-wise, show-wise, contrarians?
Yeah, just last week I had a new book come out, Unchain Your Brain, the Gillen story. So, and I just commemorated that with doing a little Gillen show that went up on Contrarians. And we did a Metallica thing that went up on Contrarians. I've got them on the brain too, because I've got a new Metallica panel book coming out in a couple of weeks. So yeah, we're just putting in a lot of shows, but the Gillen book is at my site. The Metallica isn't yet, but it's there with PayPal buttons and all that. I'll sign it, send it out from the office. I can still supply the Big Maiden and the Dio and the Deep Purple and the White Snake and the Accept and a few others. I got about 30 there at the site, and the audio podcast History in 5 Songs with Martin Popoff, and that's about it, Owen. And that's
There's the book.
That as well, Kiss 76.
Good book. Enjoying it. Graham, what about yourself?
What's not going on, Hack? Come on. I don't know. Well, there's some shows that I haven't put up yet, but I'll probably be putting up. But I can guarantee you this is what's coming up. The Psychedelic Breakfast will be on Sunday at 9 a.m. and the listening party will be at 9 p.m. on Sunday. And I'm not sure what I'm doing on the listening party yet. I think we might do a 70s show. It's either that. I'm not sure what we're doing. We'll see. It depends on what I'm feeling. But yes, there are things coming up always.
Cool. All right, folks. So I just did a couple of videos on Rush. So check those out. I did my favorite track off of each Rush record. I did in 2 parts because there's 19 albums. So I went the first 10 on the first video and the last 9 on the second video. So check that out. Please give a listen to my original music. I've got about, at this point, probably 30 songs on my playlist. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, all that. Type in Guitar Hack and all my original music will pop up, and be cool if you gave that a listen. I want to thank these gentlemen. We'll be back here again next month and be doing one of these shows again for you. And yeah, look forward to seeing you all then. And hang on, guys. I will catch you all next time. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, folks.
See you, everybody.